Hi, I'm James the Light Guy, and today we're taking a look at a set of LED bulbs sent to me by Muson. They say 9005 series on the front, and here on the label, they say H11 LED bulb, 9005 LED bulb. I have no idea what's inside this box. Let's open it up and see what's inside. Alright, starting down at the connector, here we have a 1 second, let me pause this. Sorry about that, couldn't get the camera to zoom. Let's put this in the background. Right there, there we go. So we have a 9005 style connector at the back with minimal strain relief. It is slightly flexible, that's decent. A thick cable guard here, but it is not braided. We don't have a CAN bus decoder or any sort of brains, and since we only have the two wires, I would expect this fan to be driven at full speed. That is a fairly large opening for the fan in the back with an extruded aluminum heat sink. And oh, actually it says 9005 right on the bulb. Nice. So we have the 9005 base adapter. Appears to be an ABS plastic. Little sealing gasket and a retaining screw to hold that in place in the housing. Again, these series of bulbs are installed by pushing them into the housing and twisting until they lock, and then untwisting to remove. So you need this base plate to be properly affixed to the bulb. Next we have the main shaft, which is again made of an extruded aluminum and looks like it's electroplated this bronze gray color and is eye-shaped. Let's see if we can get the focus down on that. There we go. And the circuit boards are riveted directly onto that base plate. Looking at the boards themselves, if we can get the focus, looks like they have an aluminum substrate for heat transfer. It's not as good as the copper substrate, but better than just a fiberglass PCB. You can see the wide traces behind the cover here on these panels, and we have 3 chips per side. This is a dual-sided LED module, and as you can see the surface of the chips from the side. I do like to see that. We will have a bit of a dark spot because of the profile of this, but thanks to those chips extending beyond that, it should reduce it over the range and focused in a housing. Let's zoom out and get this bulb hooked up to our power supply. It is labeled positive and negative, so that makes things easy. Without having a CAN bus or diode set in the wires, you got to make sure that this is plugged in properly. I don't know if reverse polarity would damage the bulb, but we can always check that after. Let's turn on the power supply and see what it looks like. Alright, initial startup, we were at about 2 amps, and that is dropping. We can see from the side we do get that light, and it's not casting much of a shadow at all. That is fantastic. Look at that thin shadow in a housing that is probably negligible. Let me bring the fan up to the microphone. If you can hear that, it's a surprisingly quiet fan, and we're still dropping in current, 1.75. That's not bad. Let's grab our light box and get a couple of measurements. Using the times 10 function as normal, let's move this out of the way. And we're going to start with the dark side and then move on to the full brightness. Alright, here we can see that the dark side reads 359 lux. Turning to full brightness, looks like our peak was 356. If I can find it again. 756. We'll call it 750 just to be fair. And I'm blocking the airflow, so it's going to likely throttle back a little bit. So 750, that is a respectable number. Not as impressive as some of the bulbs that we've looked at in the past, but definitely much brighter than halogen. And like I said, with the chips extending past the side profile, I mean, that dark spot is gone. As far as thermals are concerned, it hasn't even really gotten all that warm. We've dropped down to 1.6 amps. Let's see if I have a housing to look at an install. One moment, please. Unfortunately, all the housings I have right now don't use a 9005 for the low beam, but this particular headlamp assembly from a 2016 Subaru Crosstrek does use a 9005 for the high beam. So we'll spin this around and look at an install. Here we see the plate. Let's zoom down a little bit. And taking the bulb, we figure out where the large base plate is and the large tab on the housing. Insert the bulb into the housing, and we're going to press down into it and give it a twist. I did not line that up right. Let's give it one more turn. There we go. That's the direction. So press into the housing and turn, and it's as easy as that. Then we'd connect this up to the factory harness, but a Crosstrek uses a separate harness for the high beam. To remove, you push in and twist in a counterclockwise direction, and the bulb pulls out. That O-ring creates a good seal on the inside here, preventing any moisture ingress into your housing. Let's reinstall it and turn it on to see how it looks. There we go, and power up. Quite bright. Right now, the camera is dimming the rest of the scene to make up for the brightness. It is remarkably difficult to look at. But that's all I have for today's video. If you enjoyed it or found the information useful, hit that thumbs up button, like the video so I know that I'm doing a good job, share with your friends, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel. If you'd like to get these bulbs for yourself, I will put a link in the description. I believe they're available on Amazon. Until next time, I'm James the Light Guy.